This is OJ in the morning. Local people, local stories, and local connections. And it is time for a brand new feature, and I do hope it's going to be a regular feature. He might have second thoughts on that after today, but we'll see how we go. It's our man on the land, John Gregan. John, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, OJ, and good luck with your new venture. I hope it goes well for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, you may have heard John and I talking on the radio for a number of years about things going on in the rural community. Very, very important that we stay on top of what's going on rurally. It's the powerhouse of our economy, isn't it, mate?
Well, it's ticking over very well at the moment, and it's keeping our head above water, it would seem, yeah.
Yeah, so let's just talk about dairy farming in particular. You're a dairy farmer yourself. You've been involved with Fonterra, obviously, over the years as well, with the Aranaki Foundation as well.
Yeah, look, that's a new role, but I'm enjoying that. I'm a trustee on the foundation. It's about philanthropy and keeping philanthropy local. So, investing money and putting the return from those investments back into our community. So I think it's a great, really good foundation. And we've got a fantastic CEO at the moment, Richard Spuckman.
Yeah.
He's driving it and he's really, really good.
Yep, great personality.
Yeah.
Let's talk about dairy farming, though, in general. The bottom of the Hunter Hills is where you are. So how's it all going for the rural economy on the back of that good news for dairy farmers?
Look, it's been a stellar season. It's a record. In fact, last year we had $10.15 payout, which is a record of all time for Fonterra. There was a payback to farmers. We sold our brands to a big French company called Lactalis. So we got a $2 rebate, or I guess dividend back on our shares. And that's hopefully been injected back into the community. I'm sure some went to debt repayment, but there'll be a few toys will have been bought and a few holidays and a few holiday houses bought. So I think it's great. I think it's good for rural New Zealand. We need it at the moment. Agriculture is sort of leading the way a bit. Everyone has their time in the sun, but certainly dairy farming's doing well. But sheep and beef have really done well as well. And that's all on the back of a big demand for protein, particularly in the States with these thinning drugs that people are taking. And protein's really important, or people are losing muscle mass as well as fat. So proteins, stay in the sun, and that's working really well for red meat and for whey protein and lots of other parts of our milk.
Dairy farming generally didn't do so well in the free trade agreement with India, though, did it?
No, India are the biggest milk producers in the world, interestingly enough, but we are the biggest exporters of milk in the world. So they're very protective about their locals, and we knew that. We knew that was never really going to feature in that free trade agreement. But it's great for particularly sheep meat and beef. It's another market, and so we'll make full advantage of that. And the milk might move in time, but at the moment they're looking after their own, and we get that. Dairy farmers have got plenty of really good customers at the moment, so we're not too worried.
Cool. Now, what about arable farmers? I did see an article on the news earlier on about arable farmers just struggling a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a tough few years. The problem with the arable industry is they've been undercut by often cheap imported feeds into the country, barley, wheat from Argentina and Australia. Palm kernel is cutting their lunch a little bit. Farmers are using that, dairy farmers, instead of local grown grain. And of course, their costs have gone up. The fuel crisis have really affected cropping farmers in particular. And no doubt tyres and the big gear that they need is going to get more and more expensive with this fuel crisis. So no, it's tough times for them. And we're seeing a lot of conversions, particularly handily to us in mid-Canterbury, of cropping farmers who are going to dairying.
All right. As far as the expense of going from a cropping farm into a dairy conversion and the time that takes?
Yeah, well, it takes a good year by the time you get your tracks in, your water systems. And I've heard something like $25,000 a hectare to convert a farm from cropping to
It's a
dairy
big investment.
farm. It's a very big investment. The sheds themselves are probably $2 or $3 million. You've got to put tracks and lanes in that are proper for animals, and you've got to put a decent water system so the animals, they drink a lot of water. You've got to budget 100 litres a day for water for a dairy cow.
Wow. Also saw too in the news during the week, John, that the government is putting a bit of money in behind eradicating wilding pines.
Yeah, look, it's a great initiative. It's a real problem. And again, it's quite a local problem. Mackenzie Basin's got a big issue with wilding pines. They take over where natives potentially would grow. They're faster growing than natives, so they push them out effectively. So that means the habitat for our native animals isn't as available. And they're ugly to look at. They're a fire problem.
Yeah, they are a fire hazard, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of reasons to get rid of them. And of course, pastoral land, they're taking over pastoral land, which we can't graze. They suck the moisture out of the ground. Look, the right tree in the right place, we've always said it, and we're certainly not anti-trees at all, but they've got to be the right tree and they've got to be in the right place. And wilding pines aren't the right tree and they're definitely in the wrong place.
Speaking of eradicating things, I know that South Canterbury farmers have been asking for more eradication of wallabies. They're still a major issue, aren't they?
Yeah, an absolute major issue. I've got a neighbour, he has got a very fancy thermal scope on his gun. He sat on top of a hill behind our place for 3-4 hours. He got 120 wallabies.
My goodness
So
me.
the problem is quite significant. They're coming in over the top of the Hunter Hills from back in the Hacker and all over the place, and they are spreading. There is talk about, in fact, there is some investment going into a fence to keep them within the Waitaki River and the Waimak, is it, or the Rakai River, and they're talking about making sure they don't spread further because it's really a Canterbury problem again.
All right. Let's look at the government. It is election year after all, John. How are farmers feeling about particular outcomes that might come about this year?
Yeah, I think people are a little bit nervous. I guess your average farmer won't want a change in government. The national government seems to be a lot more farmer friendly, and I think we seem to feel like we're a wee bit more popular in the public than we were perhaps under a Labor Greens government, so that's encouraging. And yeah, we've seen a little bit more investment, and a lot more farmers are in seats. We've got a local MP, Miles Anderson. He's a local farmer and he's representing us in the Waitaki Electric. So I think farmers are enjoying that. So there's a wee bit of nervousness about another Greens Labor Te Pā, the Maori Party coalition, and just what that potentially could look like for farmers. So yeah, farmers are in a pretty good place at the moment.
All right. I see there's an event coming up too. It's called Gumboots After Dark. Now, this is with Rural Women New Zealand Canterbury, and it's an elegant gala. It's in support of the Aoraki Foundation's Women's Fund. So that is on 6th of June, by the way, and starts at 6 p.m. It's on at the Landing Services building, and tickets are available through Humanitix. So if you want to get yourself along to that, Gumboots After Dark. Now, on the MC, and I do recall a couple of years ago you gave me a pair of gumboots for my birthday. Red bands.
We did indeed, yeah. That was my wife's doing, but we hope you made full use of them, OJ.
Well, I have, and I'm also going to make use of them on this night. I'm going to polish them up especially for Gumboots After Dark. So there we go.
Great to hear. Well
Yeah. Just on the rugby, finally, and the Crusaders and that new stadium. Have you been in it yet?
I have. I was there for opening weekend and we went to 2 or 3 games over that weekend. Stunning. Really, really impressive. It's the right size, and it's in the right position. You're right downtown. We loved it. Easy access to food and drink. And I think a real telling factor is when people leave at the end, because they all arrive over a long period of time, but everyone leaves at once. Really good. Everyone emptied out really well. Great acoustics it seemed to be. And of course the Crusaders won. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, and won again at the weekend as well, under the roof. And I think they're playing, is it the Hurricanes?
That'll be a real test.
Yes, it will be too, yeah.
They're yet to lose under that roof at the moment, but the Hurricanes will certainly put them to the test.
Yes, yeah, long may that continue. Have you followed any local rugby at all?
Well, my daughter's still playing for Lincoln University, so most weekends I'm going up and watching her, but I always have an ear out for how Waimati's going. They've been up and down a little bit. I see they had a good win against Old Boys on the weekend, but a very heavy loss against Harlequins the weekend before, so they'll be there or thereabouts, and it really only counts at the semi-finals, final stage anyway, so as long as they can get into that top 4, I'm sure they're in with a shout anyway.
Superb. That is our man on the land. That is John Gregan here on OJ in the Morning. Really appreciate your time. Have a great week.
No, it's great to be part of it, OJ, and once again, good luck for the new venture.
Thank you.